have talked a lot this week about Father's Day for good reason. No matter what you get him, chances are your father will be celebrating. All you need to do is love them up and maybe serve some good food.
That's right. Dads love to have a nice meal, and isn't it great to be able to prepare it at home? Well, we've invited Chef Amy Sherman, a chef at the Spartan Culinary Classroom, to help us figure out some great ideas for dads. And I'm going to say, Amy, not only is she the face of Family Fare, she shops there as well. I happened to encounter her yesterday in the parking lot.
I was there buying all my stuff.
I love it. When I saw you, I thought, oh yay, we're going to have an 8West segment.
Right. And I was getting some great stuff at Family Fare. I went down to the Metro Health store, which is one of my favorite stores to shop at. It's amazing to check it out. But we're talking about Father's Day, which is, a great day because hopefully you're going to cook for your dad so he doesn't have to. But what does Dad always want? I know in our household, both my husband and my dad, they want steak.
Meat on the grill.
Meat on the grill. But one of the things that can be a concern when you're dealing with meat is, especially with your dad, if he's a little bit older, is health issues. You don't want them to eat too much meat. So I tried to come up with something that we can portion out a little bit better. Instead of giving my dad an entire steak, I can give him a couple pieces of steak and make sure he's eating a little bit healthier.
Yeah, and it's great because you brought in some great ideas here, and I can't wait to talk meat with you in just a second, but asparagus is a favorite.
Let's talk vegetables first,
because we're seeing that all over the place
This
now.
is in season right now. Michigan asparagus is at its peak of freshness, and which also means it's the healthiest for you right now. And simple is best, but one of the things when you get your asparagus is bring it home and put it into a container with about 1 inch of water in it, and it's going to stay longer.
You can put that on your counter.
Well, it's not going to grow anymore, but it will keep it fresh for a longer period of time. So if you store it like that, you're going to have a better result. And if you think about your dad's plate this weekend, try to load him up with vegetables because it's going to be a little bit better. So, corn is starting to come into season, and it's actually really sweet right now. I was surprised it's good. So that's a great thing to have. Artichokes are fun and kind of festive, something a little bit different. But then let's go to the main course here, which is the meat. Okay,
the meat. Exactly.
And we know how much they love the meat, right?
Yeah.
So most people might think of a steak, and they are going to think of something like a New York strip or a ribeye or a Delmonico. Yes, and those are things that you're going to cook one for every person. Well, you might be consuming, 10 to 12 ounces of meat, which is a lot and really isn't great for your heart. So a little bit of meat might be better. And so what I like to cook is a flank steak. This is an affordable choice. It's going to be between $6 and $7 a pound. It's also coming from a part of the cow that gets a lot of workout, okay? And so that means it has a lot of flavor, a lot of beefy flavor. So a little bit might go a little bit longer, but it's a tougher cut of meat. So that's where you want to really make a great marinade.
And it's not so fatty.
No, it's very lean.
Which is great for Dad. So I was asking you before because I'd always heard that if you use some kind of vinegar base in a marinade, if you have a tougher cut of meat, it helps make it more tender. But you're going to tell us why that is.
Do you want to know,
We
West?
do. Yeah,
I know, inquiring minds.
Because it breaks down the connective tissues in the beef, and so it makes it more tender. But a marinade also protects a steak from the carcinogens on the grill. So it is important to do a little bit of a marinade on it. And this marinade is one of my favorites. I actually learned this up at North Peak Brewing when we were up there for the Great American Brew Trail, and it was the best steak I'd ever had.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And it has, of course, beer in it.
Of course.
But
How much beer?
A whole bottle. I just throw it in there because you just soak. You let it soak for a little while.
It's okay for the kids because it cooks off.
Oh yeah. You take it out of the marinade, and you let it. You really want to let it for this flank steak. 24 hours is going to give you an optimum marinade. It's really going to saturate it.
Do you need to puncture it at all?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Nope. And then it has soy sauce, which has a lot of flavor and salt in it. A little worcestershire, and then it has balsamic vinegar, and that's that acidity that's going to help break down the connective tissue and make it very tender.
Okay, when you marinate, do you put it in a container or in a bag?
I put it in a Ziploc bag,
and
then I put it in a bowl so it doesn't leak.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
That's a good
All
idea.
Yeah, you don't want that all over.
Okay.
So then the other thing about flank steak is you've probably heard people say that you need to cut it against the grain, and what that means is the muscles on the steak are all going this way. So you want to cut it the other way.
Really?
And that's going to, again, cut those connective tissues into smaller
Maybe make it
pieces, and
easier
it
to
makes
digest?
it makes it very tender. If you were to cut it with the grain, it would be kind of chewy and tough, but cutting it this way cuts all those connective tissues and makes it very, very tender and delicious to eat.
Okay, so it looks like this is a medium well. Is that about what you do?
Yes, when your viewers go online to look at the recipe, I'm pretty specific with flank steak. I like to cook it directly over heat, about medium-high heat, and I do it for 7 minutes aside.
And that's it?
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Then let it rest for 10 minutes, and then slice it.
Okay, no, we should tell you at this point, the recipes will be online sometime later this afternoon, along with all those great tips.
They will,
from Chef
absolutely.
They will. Okay, so let's look at this beautiful platter because this is the result of all of our hard work. This looks amazing.
Looks good, and it's so good for you.
It's something you haven't talked about yet.
Caprese salad, it's mozzarella, tomatoes, lots of fresh basil. Then you've got the grilled asparagus, so tons of vegetables, and then a little bit of meat to satisfy your dad on Father's Day. And then the last thing is, of course, the beer, right? Dads love beer.
Great
Moms
gift.
love beer. This is a great gift. A lot of the breweries now are putting together these packs where you can get a variety of different beers from the same brewery in it. So if your dad is kind of getting interested in craft beer, but he doesn't quite know what he likes yet, this is a great choice.
And they have these at Family Fair.
They do, and
this
they have
is Shorts.
This is Shorts,
Michigan beer.
And a couple other breweries like Arcadia also has some of these kind of gift packs. So you could bring it to the party as a gift, and then you could drink it.
That is
Very
really great.
nice.
Well, thanks, Amy, so much. You've given us some great tips and some great information about how we can make the most delicious meal for our dads. Do I have to hand this to Amy?
No, you're eating it.
Oh, this is all right, remember,
wonderful.
recipes online later this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Amy.
You're
as
welcome.
We pay tribute to Dad this week.
Absolutely.
And of course, the best part.
Happy Father's Day to my dad. I love you.
Love you, Dad.
Happy Father's Day.
So good.
Good.
Delicious.
And healthy.
So good.